All right. Special edition of the DILF Show. Just me, by myself. Because I have no friends. No. Well, it's kind of true. But we have our Saturday show, which we got coming up here, episode 3, coming on Christmas Eve. And I'm recording this a couple days before Christmas. And we are doing a couple of different things. So we're going to be adding one more show per week, whether it's going to be me like this by myself or a cannabis review with a special guest to be named later. Okay. Which is going to be a lot of fun. So, but anyway, while I'm thinking about this, I was reading an article this morning that Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the old wrestler from like the 80s and 90s, the fucking crazy guy with had the fucking 2x4 and he did I don't know if that's the look that he did, but he held off some home intruders at gunpoint. I guess last night maybe. And the funny thing about it is, imagine being those home intruders, right? Say you're like a big time wrestling fan. You didn't know it was his house. You walk in the fucking door and there's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. 2x4, ready to fuck your shit up. That'd be a pretty good surprise if you're a big fan of wrestling. Not a big surprise, or not a good surprise, if you're not a fan. Either way, I think those guys probably got fucked up a little bit. But what do I know? I mean, Hacksaw could be fucked up. A lot of those wrestlers get fucked up that whole time in their career, and they can't walk by the time they're 50. So who knows? But evidently, I guess he held him off at gunpoint. He didn't use a 2x4, which kind of sucks. I wish he did it with a 2x4. It would make for a way better story. Way better story. But I found that to be kind of funny, kind of interesting. And I was doing that as I went out and started doing some of my Christmas shopping today. So I'm like a late guy for Christmas shopping. Typical dude, I guess. I usually wait till the last minute to do my Christmas shopping. Amazon the past couple of years has helped with that because obviously it's so fucking good to just order something like 3 days and then the next day you have it. It's not bad. It's a good deal. But I still like to get out there and do my thing. And today I went shopping and it was packed. And I'm like, all right, this is a good opportunity to do my yearly holiday ritual. My yearly holiday ritual is go out Christmas shopping at the busiest time. Go to Whole Foods. Start there first. Get my lunch, a little bit of fuel, get moving, right? Got to fuel the pipes. Get my fuel, go out there, get ready to take on the day. But first, I go back to my car, put my reverse lights on, and I just press the brake. And then I can start to eat my food. And people are honking their horns. See my reverse lights on for 5 minutes. And it just gets everybody in the Christmas spirit. At least I get in the Christmas spirit. I'm all happy and jolly as people get pissed off around me. But it's always fun to do. I highly suggest giving it a whirl if you have nothing to do a couple of days before Christmas. This year I haven't had any issues. Last year I had somebody knock on my window, be like, your fucking reverse lights are on. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm eating my fucking lunch, bro. And that didn't, de-escalate. Let's put it that way. The one thing I do have a major issue with is the holding of the door. And I say this because I don't want someone holding the door for me. It's so annoying. I can do it. I can hold the door myself. I don't need any help from anybody to do so. And the reason being is I want to walk to where I'm going at my own leisurely pace. I don't want to have to fucking speed it up because some jerk is holding the door for me 25 feet away. Now what I got to do? I got to walk faster to make this guy feel better. So he's not hanging out there the whole time. And I'm only speeding up just so he can feel good about himself for holding the door. So I wave him off. I wave people off. I do the wave off all the time. No, I got it. I'm fine. And then everybody's like, no, come on. I'm like, I'm not speeding up. I've had this conversation with people before where They were holding the door for me. I'm like, no, I got it. Don't worry, don't hold it. I'm not coming right in. And they still, no, I got it for you. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need you to hold the door. And I got into not much of a confrontation, but the guy's like, I'm just trying to be nice. I'm like, I don't need you to be nice. I need you to just fucking mind your own business. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it. Don't hold the door for me. I'm not gonna hold the door for you. I won't do it. I'm not gonna hold it. I'll hold the door for my daughter. That's it. Maybe a family member, but who knows? Depends on the day. Could let that shit slam right in somebody's face. There's a distance that has to be acknowledged. Okay? There's a distance. I don't know the math, and I don't know the exact distance. It's more like an eyeball. You eyeball it. But there is a distance that has to be acknowledged where this guy's too far away. I can let the door swing and close, and I don't get any repercussions of not being a nice person for holding the door. I don't know what that number is. I mean, for me, because I'm, highly sensitive to this, I would say anything over 7 feet, 8 feet away, don't hold the door for me, because I'm not going to double time it. I'm not going to go faster to get there. And if I see somebody, I'm giving them, 6 feet. 6 feet, that's what they get. I am not holding the door for anybody further away from me than 6 feet. Just not doing it. Yeah, not doing that. I don't want to. It's crazy because it is just an act of kindness, right? It's being a kind person. And I like to be a kind person. I'm kind to everybody I know, unless you're a dick. And then I'm not kind. I'm real. It's like the same with that pay it forward bullshit. When that started, I was like, I'm fucking dead set. I'm not paying forward to nobody. And there was one time I did this. And I was like, you know what? I am going to be nice. I'm going to pay for the person behind me. I get up there. I said, I'm going to pay for the person behind me. I said, how much is it? She says, $31.50. I said, fuck you, $31.50. I said, are you shitting me? What are they getting back there? Is it Dunkin' Donuts? What are you getting for $31.50 for two people in the car? I didn't do it. My coffee was $1.85. I had a small coffee. This is probably 2 years ago. I had a small coffee. I am not paying $31.50, and I think that's reasonable, right? I won't do it. But I'm not even going to do it for somebody that got a matching price as mine. I'm not doing it. I'm going to break that chain moving forward. Okay? I don't like it at all. If I'm going to help somebody out, I'll help somebody out in need. And even then, who's to know? Who's in need and who's not. That's it's a golden question. You never know with these homeless people, right? The majority of them have mental health issues. The majority of them have drug problems, and you're like, what if this one doesn't? Nah, he does, I used to be empathetic, and I used to be, naive, I think more so naive. And then when I became a cop, I realized, I get it. I see how many people out here that are homeless because of drugs, or mental health. It's not, maybe a couple people out of thousands are out there because they're hard up on their luck and they can't get a job. But at the end of the day, I think, if you can't get a job, it's because of the drugs or the mental health. If you're like a straight-laced person, and you're homeless, there's no reason you can't get a job. Right? So, and I think those are the people that do pull out of it. I don't know. I'm just fucking talking shit. But I think those are the people that have the better chance of pulling out of it, right? Whereas the mentally ill and the drug addicted are just not going to get out of it at all. It's just a revolving cycle that everybody has to pay for in their own way, whether it's, taxes that they're paying for this or the depreciation of your neighborhood because people have popped up in tents. I mean, It's fucking wild. It's not something that's fixable, I don't think, to be honest with you. Unless they start to try to maybe somehow fix a drug problem, and then fix mental health, because those are the two contributing factors of it. Whatever. I'm just riffing here. And speaking of mentally ill and drug addicted, I read something today. I'm sorry, not today. I read something recently about this woman that was arrested for driving a moped nude while getting fingered, and then she punched a blind guy. And I am thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a second. First off, I would have loved to have seen this live, because I have way too many fucking questions as to what was going on here. First off, why is she naked? Okay. 2, what kind of moped is it? Okay. Valid question. If it's the one where she's pedaling and doing it, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking work. Who's fingering her? Where is that person located? Was she getting fingered while she was on the moped? Or was it afterwards? And then who was the blind guy, and why did she punch him? Maybe he was fingering her, but he was blind and didn't know, and it was an honest mistake. And that's why she punched him. I don't know. The article didn't tell me shit at all. I wonder if anything happened with that. I don't know. I'd have to. I got to follow up on this. I think I read it. I think a couple weeks ago, maybe. I wonder if somebody got arrested, charged. Did she actually get charged, or was she a victim? I don't know, man. But that blind guy, he's not fucking around. Nor is she. What kind of shit are you doing where you're out riding butt ass naked on a moped? Because I wanted to give it a whirl. I've gone streaking. I've done the streaking thing before, but I haven't gone out on a moped and ran around buck naked. Is it buck naked or butt naked? Never really knew. That we can look up. Fuck, let's look it up right now. I got nobody here to look it up. I'm just cutting this thing up anyway, so let's see. While both butt naked and butt naked are used to describe someone who is fully nude, buck naked is the older of the pair. Interesting. Butt naked is much newer and likely sees us because of having a long history of referring to persons' buttocks. Some grammar mistakes on that's for sure. So buck naked is the older saying. Something to think about. And staying on the topic of nude, I feel like lately, over the past, 10 to 15 years maybe, female foreheads have been getting increasingly larger. Is this me? Is this something that I'm seeing, or is it a thing? Is it something I'm missing? I'm starting to think it's probably something to do with all the hormones in the food and shit. I don't know a lot of people, women my mom's age or a little younger, that have increasingly large foreheads. And I'm trying to make the connection here because I've seen it a lot, a lot. I'm no one to talk. I'm fucking bald. I'm not poking fun. Also, I'm not sensitive about being bald either. Some people get fucking sensitive. So sensitive. Honestly, I've said it before, but when I shaved my head, it was it was just a game changer for me. It was at the right time that happened, I guess. Bald heads and stuff were in. But, so I'm not poking fun. Maybe I am a little bit. Who gives a fuck if I am or not? But massive foreheads, lots of large foreheads. And, everybody's beautiful just the same. But it doesn't hide the fact that there's been some increasingly large foreheads over the past 10 to 15 years. And I really think it's the it's the hormones in the food and the seed oils and all that shit that's going into our bodies. Also, same thing with like white chicks. You know, like people talk about for years white chicks having no ass, and now you running around, you're seeing all these white chicks with asses, and they're not always fake. You know, you're legit looking at a white chick with a nice fat ass. And same hypothesis for this is that I believe it's the hormones in the food that's changing it and altering the DNA of females. That ass is running around. And on top of that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And on top of that, girls go to the gym 5 or 6 times a week. And those 5 or 6 times a week, 4 of those days are fucking hip thrusters, and squats, and deadlifts. Not complaining about that either. The hip thruster is kind of a fucking bitch move, though. It's like, okay, we get it. I saw a video with that fucking guy. Oh, what's his name? It used to be Bro Science. I think it's still Bro Science. But he was talking about hip thrusters and how it's like the female's version of the bench press. It's a dick measuring contest kind of type thing. Because basically, those hip thrusters ain't doing shit. Girls, just keep on squatting and doing deadlifts, and you're going to be there, okay? But the problem what's happening is they're trying to just work out just for ass and legs. And like, girl, like 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, like, man, it's going to be a bad scene when you get older. If you're eating just to get an ass, it's going to be a bad scene. It's going to be really bad. But no one's complaining as of now, you know? It's all good. I mean, I'm not in the best of shape right now. I'm getting back in it, but I'm not in the best of shape right now. But I'm also not just going in and doing a bunch of hip thrusters and eating shitty ass food. It's not what I'm doing. But I'm an ass guy. I like a nice ass. Yeah, and then, I mean, let's stay on the topic here just for a second about females now. It's like the roles have reversed, right? Like dudes have to be like all feminine and shit, which I'm not fucking buying into that. I won't buy into that. It's a fucking weak ass ideology, and I'm not for it. But like roles are reversing, right? You get a lot of dudes that are a bunch of bitches, and like masculinity is toxic and shit. Nah, that's another story for another time. But it's funny because like with females now, when they get, a chick is single, newly single, just broke up with her boyfriend. By just looking at their social media, the picture changes. All of a sudden, the profile picture is not a picture of them anymore. You're like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? You go check it out. You're like, oh, I've been waiting this one out for a little while. And changes the fucking picture. It's a nice new filtered picture, which, my God, I fucking hate those things. I hate them with a passion. If anything else could go away, it would be filtered photos. It's the worst. I'm a photographer, and I'm telling you, over the past 4 or 5 years, since these filters have gotten so good, it's distorted the view that females have of themselves. So when they see their real self in a real photo that's not filtered, it's like, oh my God, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah, I can do it, but it's going to look like shit. Like you don't look like yourself. Like it's fucking, oh my God, it's so bad. It's done so much negative shit for people. And oh man, I could just go on all day for it. But that's, one of the giveaways. Like, oh, she starts posting pictures by herself. Next thing you know, she's out partying. Like, it's so easy to spot, like, when a chick is just newly single. It's like they're just throwing it out there, which they probably are, right? Like, they want that attention that they've been lacking or not getting for the past couple of years in their dead-ass relationship. And the filters, though, man, I can't do it. I fucking can't do it. It's like, a chick will post a new photo of herself. It's all filtered to the moon. And everybody knows that you don't look like that. But then you got other girls on there saying, oh, girl, you're crushing it. You're killing it. You look like a goddamn queen. No, bitch, she doesn't look like a queen. She looks like a goddamn iRobot from back in the day. Smoothed out face. No emotion. Just looks like a fucking blank slate. It's horrible. There's nothing good about it. Nobody likes it. No dudes like it. And if you're into females, no females like that shit. It's fucking bullshit. Nobody wants to see something like that when you pull up and you look nothing like it. I went out with a chick a few months back. And all her photos were filtered. So I was like fucking rolling the dice on this. I'm like, I don't really know what to expect here. And typically I won't even talk to somebody like on a dating app, especially if like they have all their filters, all their photos are filtered. I just won't even bother. I won't even acknowledge it. And if I do get it to talk to somebody, like I have to ask them, like, hey, can you send me a picture that's not filtered? People are like, oh, that's such a douchebag thing to do. I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. What do you want me to do? You want me to show up and then you're not there? It's some fucking filtered face? Like, come the fuck on, bro. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know where the fuck I left off on that, but it's like the filters and all that shit are just complete garbage, and I fucking hate it. And I was watching something the other day, and I think I have to agree because I hate the show Friends. Fucking show sucks. I've never been a fan of it, and I've thought about this the same thing. Like all the dudes on Friends are a bunch of pussies, you know. And I think after I watched this video, I was like, holy shit, someone actually thinks the same shit that I do. And he was saying how like Friends was the start of the decline in masculinity. Once that show started, shit started to kind of decline as far as masculinity was concerned. And it was pretty obvious because the dudes were a bunch of bitches. Like, that's not how life would go down if it was like real men handling the situation. You know, that's what I was watching. I was watching a video. It was Andrew Tate explaining how Friends has started the demasculinity of our country and Western civilization. And you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. I like a lot of the stuff he says. Some of the stuff I don't agree with at all. But this I do, because I've always hated Friends. The show sucks. I've said it for years. It's not funny. And I'm starting to realize now this is the reason why I didn't think it was funny. Because I'm watching a bunch of dudes on there act like bitches. And it just wasn't funny to me. I couldn't relate to it. Like, that's not my style of living. And for me, that's why I think it's not funny at all. Like, you look at Seinfeld, like you couldn't do Seinfeld now. I've watched the older episodes many times, and I'm like, wow, you couldn't do that now. You couldn't do this now. You couldn't do that. And it's like, Seinfeld was a tame show. Like, he's a clean comic. He doesn't say any fucking bad words. Like, he doesn't say fuck, shit, cocksucker, cum, nothing, right? He says none of that stuff. So looking at that and be like, wow, we wouldn't be able to do that guy's show now, which is fucking nuts. But anyway, that's why I think Friends sucks. And it's good to finally get an answer as to why I didn't like that show so much. And now I know. Anyway, guys, this is the Wednesday conversation with me, Brandon, of The DILF Show. I'm going to be doing this every Wednesday. If there's something you want to talk about, put it in the comments below. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Ivan and I would much appreciate it. The more we get going, the more content we can produce. Come busy season for me, I won't be able to be as active with this. So we need this shit to pop off so I can justify being more active with it. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell. It goes a long way, and it only takes you a couple of seconds. Let's get this thing up and going.